Hi guys, Steve here, and on this video I'll be talking about everything you need to know about Deathworms. How to find them, kill them, and what they're good for. Plus a good tip on how to find alpha worms. But first, why do you need to kill Deathworms? Well, when you do, they'll drop one horn. And when you have enough horns, you can tame yourself a Mantis. These are a jack of all trades, but a master of none. They don't have much health, so they die easily if they get hit by something big. So the main purpose to have them is to farm. If you equip different tools, you can get fibre, wood, stone, and metal. But their carry weight's not that good, so the more specialised dinos are better. You can find a link to all the best harvesting dinos here. This is a 150 Mantis, perfectly tamed on horns, but the only thing we use it for is to farm fibre. Yes, it would be good to have one early on in the game, but you're not going to be able to kill Deathworms and get the horns easily until you've got rock elementals or T-Rexes. Then later on, when you've killed many worms and got lots of horns, you can tame yourself loads of low level female mantises and build yourself a mantis egg farm. You can find ours here. Then you can use the mantis eggs to make kibble to tame rock elementals. Okay, let's start by finding Deathworms. They're located in a desert on the outskirts of the map. But you won't find them everywhere, as there's only certain areas they'll spawn at. Some spawn points will only spawn one now and then, where others spawn Deathworms all the time. If you're going out in the desert to kill worms, I'd advise you to wait until you're at a Rex or Elemental stage. Here we are tanking a worm with a Rock Elemental, as it's tough with lots of health, and we're using a Rex to do most of the damage. Then me setting it alight with fire arrows. The Deathworm still does a lot of damage to us, so you only can kill a few in one run. And the Argent's good in case your attackers run out of stamina and can't get away, and you can swoop in and kite the worm away from them as your guys get to safety. All worms are level 1, normal and alpha. When you get to the Wyvern stage, things get easier. Fly along a desert, land and wait to see if a worm comes to you. If one's near, you'll hear a rumbling, and you'll see it burrowing towards you under the sand. If not, take off again, fly forward and then repeat the process. Fly close to the sand as the worms might spawn near you. You landing and walking on the sand will attract a worm to you if there's one near. Leave a short distance before you land again, and cover most of the desert so you know where all the spawn points are. It takes a while to do this the first time, but once you know where all the locations are you can fly straight to them after that. There's none here, so I'm going to carry on looking. I've done extensive tests on repeatedly landing on the same area. If it's not within a worm spawn point, it's not going to work, no matter what you try. However, if you try this where you know worms spawn, you're likely to get one. And I know there's a worm spawn point just over here. There you go, that's a worm sign you need to look for. It's burrowing towards me underground. I'll just get into a better position. If you've got Wyvern with good health and damage, you can solo it yourself. And that's what I'm going to do now. You can only damage it when it's above ground. I think the best two Wyverns to fight Deathworms are Lightning and Fire. Lightning because you do a constant steady stream of damage, and Fire because you can set them alight and then constantly bite them. You can however be more cautious and attack it from long range with a poison or lightning. That way you're not going to get hit. The Wyvernamon's got okay damage, but it's got loads of health, so I'm not going to worry about dying. Sometimes when you've killed the worm, a Wyvern will pick up the loot bag, but this time it didn't. So don't forget to check the bag and pick up the horn. After I killed this one, I tried taking off and landing again, then walking around to see if I could get another one to spawn. I tried it for 5 minutes, but it didn't work, so these solo worm spawn areas must be on a timer. The best area to find worms is in the top left of the map. In this area you can constantly spawn Deathworms, so farming a lot of horns is pretty easy. Its coordinates is at 1017. It's to the left hand side of a blue obelisk next to the border. Another tribe had built a Deathworm killing platform here, but then they went around wiping out smaller tribes. One of those were our friends, so it didn't end well for them. That raid and many others will be coming soon, so don't forget to sub or you'll miss them. When you get here, walk around on the sand and try to attract a worm. Also, go up to the border because that seems to trigger them to spawn as well. There we go. That's a distance map from the top left hand corner. I'll just kill this one, then spawn another. If you're on a fire wyvern, when it comes out of ground, flame it. That'll do constant damage while it's alight, then just keep on biting it. When the flame goes out, set it on fire again and repeat the process until it dies. But keep an eye on your wyvern's health and stamina. The wyvern picked up a horn, so I just have to empty the bag. I've been walking around here for 1.5 minutes, so now I'm going to show you a useful tip. Get off your wyvern and lay on the ground. Then press K on your keyboard, and that lets you move a camera around. Move a camera underneath the sand, then you can see if there's any deathworms in the area. That thing over there that looks like a long turd is a deathworm underground. So press K again to go back to your normal camera, get on your wyvern and head in the worm's direction. And there you go, another juicy worm. If you're here by yourself, it usually takes about 2 minutes to spawn each worm. But if there's a group of you, they spawn much faster, plus there's a chance you'll get 2 or 3 worms at the same time. And as you can see, it's a lot easier to kill them. You'll always get 1 horn from a normal deathworm, but you'll get 20 horns from an alpha. As you can imagine, they're bigger, hit harder and have a lot more health. I've already fought a lot of normal ones, so my wyvern's only got half health at the moment. If you've leveled a wyvern on purely health and damage, you might be able to solo these by yourself, but this is an air combat wyvern, so I'm going to have to call in extra help. All alpha creatures glow, so a good tip to see alpha worms under the sand is to go out at night and find them. Fly above the ground, then you can see their glow in a distance. You ready? Worms and alpha worms give great XP when you kill them, so they're good for levelling up. Plus, when you kill an alpha worm, you get its head as a trophy. I'll put this one next to the alpha wyvern's head. It must have dried out because it shrunk a bit. Come on devs, make it a lot bigger. In my next video, I'll be showing you the best way to tame mantises. Then get loads of mantis eggs from an egg farm. Thank you for watching. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the other helpful videos at the end, and hopefully I'll see you again. Goodbye!